नमो नमो गुरुदेव को, नमो कबीर सकृपाल, नमो संत शरणागति, सकल पाप भय छाल। सतगुरु को कीजे बंदगी, कोटि कोटि प्रणाम। कीटन जाने भृंग को, गुरु कर ले आप समान।
Say a few words about the ego. Anu Sahib has touched upon it. All the great teachers have taught us about ego, ahamkar, command, what's called pride, vanity. Let us try to understand this ego and what it does to us. If you had no ego, your life will practically be free of any problems. It is the ego that causes all the problems you face. Your anger is motivated by your ego because you feel hurt. Somebody says something, your ego comes up and you get hurt. You want to fight back. Your ego tells you that you are you, I am me. My thinking, my experience, my things, my belongings, my personality, my mind, my ideas, they are me and they are right. And your ideas and all these other things are yours. What I know to be, what my mind tells me, that is right. And if this is right, you probably are wrong. And this is where the conflict arises. Now, just to be a little bit on the funny side, there are three kinds of ego. E-G-O, I don't mean ego, the one made with waffle. E-G-G-O, it's not that one. It's E-G-O, ego. And if it's a man, a male person expressing ego, let's call it ego. H-E-G-O, okay? That's ego. If it's a lady, what do you say? She-go, okay? And if it's all of us have our own ego, oh, this is my religion, this is my country, my family. It's many people involved. We call it we-go. So you got he-go, she-go, we-go. So remember those three kinds of ego. I mean, ego is the same, but just to understand it. Now, if you are expressing ego, you begin to feel proud. Think of a goat. It will come to your mind every time you feel this ego coming up. If it's a male and his ego begins to come up, he becomes a he-goat. You know what he-goat is? Okay, think of it that way. He-goat, a she with ego becomes a she-goat. It's easy to remember. And then, if it's all of us having our own group ego, we call it we-goat. I don't know if there's a we-goat, but just to remember the idea. So, whenever you feel this ego coming up in you, if you're a lady, you're a she-goat. If you're a man, you're a he-goat. So, that will help you to remember, get rid of this ego. Because that goat will come in your mind. What's a he-goat like? What's a she-goat like? A beard and whatever, horns and so on. And you remember yourself to be like that. Now, why do we have this ego? Ego is something we develop in our own self because we identify ourselves as being isolated individual. You are you, this is me. God is over there, I am over here. There's duality. Because of duality, which is caused by ignorance, which is caused by Maya, illusion, wrong thinking, we develop this sense of ego. And because of ego, we feel proud about certain things. Or we feel hurt about other things. So ego allows us to want to feel or try to get honor or fame, or we are proud about education, about material gain, about family name, about our ideas, about our personality, about our body, beautiful, ugly, nice clothing, ugly clothing, whatever, big car, fancy car, luxury car. These are the things that are driving us day by day, and we don't seem to be able to understand that we can control this ego and stop getting into all the troubles. Ego is the number one obstacle in spiritual life. It puts a block every time. As soon as you begin to feel proud, you begin to feel egotistic, and you begin to feel that you are not as good as me, or you said something I don't like, and I feel angry, I feel hurt. It is your ego that's doing it to you. If you do not have that ego in you, you can refuse to react. You don't have to react to things, and therefore you don't have to suffer. Let it go in one ear and out the other, as it were. It doesn't diminish you to be humble and not to have ego. You get stronger. You become a better person. You become spiritual. You come to dwell in God. As soon as you have ego, you are falling down. And the more ego you have, the lower down you get on spiritual scale. So have no ego. Kabir Sahib has used many examples. बड़ा हुआ तो क्या हुआ जैसे लंबे खजूर, पंथी को छाया नहीं और फल ला गया तो दूर, ऊंचे पानी ना टिके नीचे ही ठहराए, नीचे हो के भर पिए ऊंचे प्यासा जाए. Drink the water when you bend down low, because water goes low. Water doesn't have any pride and stays high in the mountains. It goes down to the lowest place. Kabir Kutta Ram ka. Kabir saying is, I am the dog of Ram. Gale Ram ki jyoti jir khiche tuch jao. The nose of God is in my neck. Wherever God pulls me, I'm going. I'm just like a dog following God. Just so Kabir Sahib, having realized that highest state of union with God, jab mai tha hari nahi, ab hari hai mai nahi. He realized that only God exists. He is only a reflection or a part of God. Just like everything is a part of God, we are a part of God. And when we realize that, we have no ego. When we have no ego, only then we can start having happiness, joy and bliss in this life. Have ego and you'll suffer. So dear devotees, let us get rid of the ego. Don't have ego of caste and clan and pride, of race, of belongings and possessions, of fame and honor and whatever else people have ego about. Give them all up. Be humble. Do like Guru Nanak. He said, Nanak nanhe rahiye jaise nanhe doob. Ghas ghas jal jayega rahi doob ki doob. Doob grass? They're very short. It grows on the ground. It doesn't grow tall. I used to cut that because I used to have cut grass for cow. And they're very hard to cut because you have to sort of hold it. And it's hard to hold it because they're spreading on the ground. Then you cut it with a what you call grass knife, sickle. So Guru Nanak Sahib is saying, be like that humble grass. When the fire burns the field, the tall grasses get burned because heat rises. The higher the flame, the bush, the hotter it is. The bottom stays cooler. If your house is on fire, you don't go climb up in the attic. You go into the basement or you lie down on the floor, because when you stand up, your head is hotter than where your foot is. So you lie down if your house is on fire and you can't escape and hope the fireman will rescue you. Just so the doob grass lies close to the ground. The ground doesn't get heated so quickly that doob grass is saved, but the tall ones burn. So these are all examples to show you humility. Let us have that humility in our heart, in our words, the way we talk, have politeness, and have love. Let love motivate everything, and therefore you will be on the path to God. God will be in your heart, and you will then have peace, joy, and bliss. So, with those words, I'd like to say thank you for listening. Bole Sadguru Kabir Sahib ki Jai.